त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् हरि ओम. Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Hinduism in Focus. We are discussing in great depths the glories and power of Mahashivratri and of Lord Shiva, the concept, the idea, and the worship of Bhagavan himself. All in all, in this grand preparation and in the whole observance of Mahashivratri in this month of February. And where we left yesterday, we had just begun to look at the mantra from the Yajurveda, which goes like this: Nama Shambhave cha Pashupataye cha Nama Ugraya cha Bhimaya cha. That homage unto the him who leads to well-being, to Shambhu, who leads to well-being. And we're saying that it is so universal that any nook and corner of this universe, people are seeking, and even more prominently today, people are seeking some level of well-being through some method like yoga, meditation. They go for walks in the parks in the morning. They go and sit under a tree and read a book. They want to reconnect to nature. Now everyone wants to go biodegradable, wants something to connect to the nature and the environment around them. All in all leading to wanting, we want well-being. And here, as old as in the Vedas, the Hindu understood this. The rishis have long declared this. We have long known these truths. And these truths and the source of that well-being that every person is searching for in the universe, it is encompassed, it is part of, it is ideally Shiva. Because what is not in Shiva? If Shiva is existence, is well-being. So Namah Shambhave cha, salutations to the source, the one who leads to well-being. And we were saying, to have well-being of any kind requires a control of the lower self in us. That lower self is looked upon as the beast, the animal in us, the lower side of us. And Shiva is called Pashupati, the lord of the Pashu, of the beast, of the animal. Meaning that he has conquered the animalistic side. You know, this is the reason, and I will show you. And to the extent that we are conquering our animalistic nature, to that extent, equal proportion, we experience the divine self. You can call it Shiva, you can call it peace, you can call it inner satisfaction and well-being. You can name it anything. But we know, the scriptures know long before what we are seeking and what we're talking about. So I'll show you. So Shiva, if you look at Shiva, look on your screen there, right? Like imagery. As we said, the Shiva does not mean a person. The personality or the persona of Shiva has been developed later by the longing of the people to express what they're seeking, which is contemplation. Shiva is in contemplation, in meditation. He is in one with the self, in true mauna, in silence. So Shiva, you see, he sits on a skin of the lion, like this. He sits on a lion's skin. He wears lion's skin. And one who looks at that, Shiva has killed or done violence to this animal? No. Look at the symbolism I'm showing you, just to link it to this whole concept of Pashupati and well-being. So for what it means is very symbolic, that Shiva has conquered the lion in him, the animal. Now, what's the nature of the lion? The nature of the lion is to hunt and kill its prey, is to conquer, is to bring about destruction of the timid, of the animals that cannot help themselves. The lion goes and he rips them apart and he destroys and he conquers and he satisfies his unending hunger like that. Greatest predator in the bush, in the forest, which is no problem. Now Shiva sits on the skin of that lion. What is the symbolism? The symbolism means that Shiva has conquered that animal. This fierce animal, most afraid of all fearful animal. I mean the people who are fearful of the animal. Most feared animal. Shiva sits on the skin. It means that Shiva has completely conquered the animal. Now that animal is symbolic of the animal within us, the lion inside of us, the beast in us. Look, Nandi Vahana. Nandi is a bull that's supposed to be a wild bull. And Vahana means a vehicle of Shiva. It means Shiva rides the bull. And look at the symbolism. You see, the uninformed people and those who wish to be in a state of what we call bigotry and ignorance and all of that, they will remain there. And they can ridicule these symbolism. But I'm showing you, it is universal and deep as it can get. So Shiva rides Nandi. It means Shiva rides the beast. He has brought the beast under his control. So Nandi no longer is a beast. Nandi has found his true self. So Nandi becomes a Sakshi. Nandi is a witness of the works of all of us. Nandi witnessed the worship of all of us. Nandi witnessed. So the animal now becomes tame. And the animal is an observer now. The animal cannot cannot lift its head to conquer you anymore. The animal has become suppressed. It has become under your control. You are the Lord now, so you become Pashupati. So the animal just looks on. And he has to join with you. He can't conquer you anymore. So Shiva rides on Nandi. Shiva sits on the skin of the tiger, like that. The serpent, he decorates Shiva. Shiva has control. Can the serpent decorate you and I? No. People can give all types of crass and illogical and ridiculous ideas and so on to these things, but I'm showing you deep significance. And so Shiva conquers. That is why animals are always, you see, all dangerous animals, they are under the control of Shiva. It means that for us to become situated in peace, and that's in contemplation, in meditation, in our true self, which Shiva is in his true self, right? It requires us to force externally and internally conquer the animals. That is why you see animals around Shiva and Shiva stands above them. The serpent is around his neck, nothing happens. He sits on skin of the lion, nothing happens. Nandi sits and watch in worship, in fact. Nandi surrenders to Shiva. We like Nandi, the bull, because Shiva has conquered. His conquering glory and power is what's supposed to inspire us to conquer the bull in us, the beast in us, to conquer the lion in us, to conquer the serpent in us, to conquer all lower animalistic tendencies, to whichever and whatever degree of such conquer we are at this moment in this lifetime. To that extent we experience well-being from within. To that extent, people who seek well-being without appreciating this, they find that well-being. It comes through something called tapas. Whenever we are conquering the animalistic nature from within, that process is called tapas. It's called austerity. It comes in the form of kirtana, in puja, self-discipline, self-regulation, all of these things. Seeking well-being. So we have to become Pashupati. We have to become the Lord of the animal in us. We have to become the conqueror of the animal in us. We have to conquer the lower forces. And then when that conquering starts, we come to experience, we come to feel, we come to know gradually that Shiva, which is the ultimate truth, which is ought to be known. So it is a process. That is why if you go in the in the various epics you see, so Shiva is in this meditative posture. He has already conquered his lower self. Kamadev comes now. Kamadev means a desire of lust, right? The human deepest desire. So Shiva has already passed this stage. So he comes to threaten Shiva, and he shoots that arrow of awakening the germ of lust, which is what is responsible for the continuation of the human race and the normal existence that we call the world. So Shiva, who has already passed that stage now, Kamadeva comes to threaten him. So Kamadeva, the story tells us, shoots the arrow. Well, what the arrow means, that Kamadeva tries to awaken the desire for attachment, the desire for loss in Shiva. So it means that each of us in our own upward seeking, the desire will come. No problem. It has to come. It will be awakened. That is part of how the Prakriti is made up, the nature. So this, I'm showing you how Shiva remains Shiva, the ultimate Pashupat, the conqueror of the lower self, right? So Kamadeva comes, and as soon as Kamadeva shoots that desire into Shiva, Shiva opens his third eye, which is the eye of realization, spiritual effulgence and power and glory, and he burns Kamadeva to ashes. What this means, on the outside it can be seen as a story, as we know, but on the philosophical side, it means that when one becomes Pashupati, when we have conquered ourselves, when we become that Shiva, even when the desire sparks and raises its head, immediately the third eye open. The opening of third eye refers to the spiritual, what we call the stored up spiritual power that we have attained, the austerity that we have, that has brought unto us such spiritual power, that power now has to unleash itself from within to conquer, destroy, and burn the animalistic tendency. So you conquer the animal, you become like Shiva, you wear the lion's skin, sit on the elephant's skin or on the lion's skins, like that. The serpent is there, cannot poison you, because you are the conqueror, you're Pashupati. Namasambhavecha Pashupaticha Pashupatayecha Nama Ugrayacha Bhimayacha. The Veda says homage to that Bhimaya, to that great chastiser, that great source of purity. That is the Shiva. That is the Shiva. This is the depth of the Hindu worship and the idea of Shiva. This is the depth to which Shivratri goes. Tomorrow when we meet, we will continue. Until then, may grace of Bhagwan Shiva be with all of us. Om Namah Shivaya.